question for you, I guess, is to what extent, like that high business demand, I mean, I agree with you 100%, it's there and it's got worse. And I think, I wonder, and I guess I'd ask you, is like, to what extent do you think our strive for like a DevOps culture or a continuous delivery culture is accelerating that problem rather than managing that problem?
It should really be helping to resolve that problem. It should really be for things such as continuous delivery, continuous integration, that ultimate vision of a frictionless pipeline to allow us to release solutions and test and learn in production with our customers. That should allow us to do the minimum to maximize learning, to be able to find out, is this the right service, is the right product, is this the right market offering? So you should have this mantra in my mind: the right people making the right decisions at the right time with the right funding. And if we can break that business opportunity or business problem down into small pieces, I think DevOps should actually allow us to have that clear path to production, to learn whether we're making the right choices, and do a few of those concurrently, so we kind of reduce the work in progress. Because I think there's another thought I've got as well, is that I've been reading the book which came out about 18 months ago called Team Topologies, and one thing that really was quite profound for me is this concept of cognitive load. Is that if an individual or team they're spinning loads and loads of plates, it's just really hard for people to think clearly. The tax of context switching is just, again, crippling, and we can't do good work. We can't expect our teams to do good work under that pressure. So I think by that ruthless prioritization and test and rapidly, perhaps using DevOps, should help. But I could potentially see how it could be, I don't know, what do you think? Could it actually go in the opposite direction?
I think the theory is definitely sound in terms of it should be helping. I think whether it's just like symptomatic of the business I work in, or this is like a wider kind of problem as well, is what if we talk about the old way, you're kind of limited by sort of cost and capacity, right? Like, it's like, oh, we only have one IT team and there's only, like, you know, so much money you have, and therefore, you know, let's plan this project that's going to take 6 months and whatever else, right? That's what we're doing this year. We're doing this project. And, you know, you would set up kind of cross-functional teams based on a given project, right? You might have what we used to call like live services or live operations, whatever, a team that manages the kind of production environment of everything that's live right now. But then you've got like people who scramble together, project managers, developers, business analysts, for the projects that are like the flavor of the month or that year or whatever else. And you build a kind of team around it, but you're limited by that kind of capacity block. What I found when we've tried to strive for like cross-functional delivery programs that are operating in a like striving towards a high-performance DevOps culture is I haven't found anyway, between the business and ourselves in technology, there's not that quid pro quo in terms of how the product lifecycle should work. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, yeah, we do that bit, we do the experimentation, the innovation, we build on features, we deliver it, you know, kind of incrementally and whatever else. But with all of those services, we should also be resolving to think about when it hits maintenance mode. And it's like, okay, all we're going to do is keep this thing alive from now on. We're not building on it anymore. And actually, there's going to be a point where it's not that valuable for us anymore. So we need to think about retirement and decommissioning. We don't do that anymore. We basically just keep building services on top of services on top of services. And so I've found anyway, the business is kind of like, it's almost like an all-you-can-eat type thing when they think about our programs. It's like, oh, okay, you're going to be there fully funded for a year. I'm just going to keep throwing things at you and you keep prioritizing what's most important, and we'll keep delivering stuff on top of it. But the issue with that DevOps culture is previously we would create and then disband teams around project delivery. Now we maintain this team and we go, right, you continue to own and operate all those services you've already built, sort of the ops part of the DevOps kind of model. And then also you keep building all of these new services on top of it, or new products or new features or new whatever that we want. And I think that's the bit that's like really, really crippling, is that, you know, we find ourselves just about keeping our heads above the water, trying to build these new services, reach the kind of business's ambition for these new features or new goals or whatever that they want. But at the same time, we're being like weighed down by the technical debt that we're creating with these services that we can just about kind of maintain because we're so fully fledged with the pace. So I think there's, like I said, the theory is sound in terms of how we should work. I believe though that I don't know how we incentivize that product lifecycle enough that there's a mutual investment in saying, right, we should decommission this, we should get rid of that, we should stop building any new features on this thing so that we can ramp up over here instead. I don't think there's enough of that happening. It's more like, keep doing all of that. That's really important to us, really critical. And actually, let's build on some of that. But let's throw these new things, these new bets into the ring as well, because we could potentially do more here or make more there. And I think that's what's kind of really hurting us.